Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Hanging in there.
You hanging in there? Working hard?
Always hard.
Yeah? Yo, what's up, man? We here, we live. Make sure you hit that like button. We hit, what's up? You come on through, man. You good? All right, y'all, listen, so we live. Uh, Today is, what time is it? It's 12:50. I got here, hold on. I got here, I'm gonna put this. Jolie B, what up? Shout out to Jolie B. All right, so we here, man. I need everybody to share this live. Uno, Intelligent Hoodlum, what up? New York Stankies, what's happening? All right, so this is what we got. So, court started this morning. I got here. Early. Court started. I got here about 8:47 p.m. As you know, over the weekend, Puffy's defense team filed a motion for another mistrial. The judge got the motion, and the judge gave the government, the prosecution, until tomorrow to reply to Ms. Shapiro's motion for a mistrial. Another thing that was brought out before court started today was that the prosecution is going to recall Dr. Dawn Hughes to come back and testify for whatever reason. When the judge mentioned that, Ms. Shapiro mentioned that she is going to reply to that request of Dr. Dawn Hughes coming back to testify. As you know, Alexandra Shapiro twice filed 2 motions to bar Dr. Dawn Hughes from testifying. It's already been highlighted, and it's already been testified in open court when Dr. Dawn Hughes was cross-examined by Jonathan Bach, that Dr. Dawn Hughes has a very cozy relationship with the Southern District of New York. Dr. Dawn Hughes at one point in her life was employed by the Southern District of New York. Dr. Dawn Hughes has a very cozy relationship with the Eastern District of New York in Brooklyn, the Southern District of New York here in Manhattan. And she she's got a very cozy relationship with the prosecution, right? And it was brought out that, there's a conflict of interest with Dawn Hughes. And what I heard today in the direct examination by Maureen Comey, I need everybody to get this video a thumbs up. Double tap that screen, give it a thumbs up. Share this video. Share this video. What I heard today was a lot of key buzzwords that I heard when Dr. Dawn Hughes testified 2 weeks ago. And if you remember, the issue wasn't raised by Puffy's attorney, but I thought it was highly unethical, and Jonathan Bach brought this out in his cross-examination that the prosecution team, after Mark Agnifilo and the defense team for Puffy gave their opening argument starting this case, that same night the prosecution met with Dawn Hughes, Dr. Dawn Hughes, who's supposed to be a blind witness, the expert witness, the forensic and clinical psychologist, who charges $600 an hour or $6,000 a day, and she is paid by the Southern District of New York. It was also brought out that, again, after Cassie gave her testimony on the stand, the government again, the prosecution again, met with Dr. Dawn Hughes to go over her testimony again. Dr. Dawn Hughes was working with the prosecution in preparation of their briefs and things they should put in their testimony. Take this out, put this in, you know, what is that? But long story short, Dr. Dawn Hughes is going to be brought back again to testify after Jane Doe gets off the stand. Now, I'm going to be doing another video because there's another document that Alexandra Shapiro filed that I didn't go over. But Alexandra Shapiro from the door has been making it known, making it public, and has been very adamant about Dr. Dawn Hughes' testimony being precluded. What's up, man? What's happening, man? Everything good? Yeah. Podcast was sold on YouTube. Huh? I'm live. Alexandra Shapiro had. I saw it was red. I saw it was red. That Dr. Dawn Hughes' testimony should not be allowed. She has a conflict of interest with the Southern District of New York as a former employee of the Southern District of New York, having done some unethical things in terms of meeting with the prosecution after they gave the opening argument and all that other stuff. Now, Jane Doe was back on the stand today, and Maureen Comey is the assistant U.S. attorney who is doing her direct examination. And I need y'all to hit that thumbs up, double tap that screen. Let's put it on 350. I'm trying to wait for this truck to get out of here. You got the light? Can't see it? Still red. Still red. There you go, you green. You good? So, what we have today is Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey continuing to do the direct examination, and at the outset, it was pretty boring, right? And see, I remember about 2 weeks ago, Mark Agnifilo standing up in court before court started, and he's telling the judge, he's saying, Your Honor, you know, what this is turning into is the defense just getting up and pointing out every bad thing that Puffy has done in his life, totally unrelated to them trying to prove a RICO. And let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. So, what the government is doing is, I mean, we already know, right? Every witness so far that the government has brought has talked about how bad Puffy is, right? And what they're doing is saying, oh, I remember when Puffy stole a candy bar in the 7th grade after school. Oh, then in the 8th grade, he cut science class the 3rd period, went out and hung out with his friends and came back to school in the 5th period and he got detention. Okay, I remember in the 9th grade, they had a snowball fight and he threw a snowball at the bus and broke the window. Like, these are the things that the prosecution is doing to just poison the jury's mind about how bad Puffy is. Now, Puffy is not the best of dudes, right? And I'm not overlooking the fact that he assaulted Cassie. I'm not overlooking the fact that he committed domestic violence against Cassie. I'm not overlooking the fact that he did battery to Cassie, right? These things we all know. But I think what everybody is in the courtroom, and everybody doesn't feel the way I feel. You got some people in the courtroom that feel like, you know, this needs to be said, right? So that we can get a conviction of Puff, right? But then you have other people that are here that are saying like, yo, get on with it already, right? You know, Crystal McClain, what up? Thank you for that super chat, Crystal. I see you. Get on with it already. Prove the sex trafficking. Prove the selling of the body. Prove the RICO. Get on with it already. All right? Yeah, we know he used ecstasy. Right. We know that he has multiple women. We know that he stole a Snickers bar in the 5th grade. We know that he stole somebody's bike after school when he was a sophomore in high school. You know, we know that, you know, he broke a window and ran away, and then we know this stuff. Where is the RICO? That's what a lot of people, from what I'm hearing, are saying, right? Now, what Jane Doe has been complaining about the most is how much she loved Puffy. And she is jealous of Gina. She's jealous of Young Miami. She's jealous of this girl named Chelsea in Washington, D.C. Puffy has got all of these women, and Puffy repeatedly tells her in the text messages, they put up the text messages, Jane Doe is always saying, go be with them other hoes. You know, you don't treat me the way you treat, you know, you treat them. Pappy's Kitchen over there, send me that British pound. I see your Instagram and you're spending time with these other hoes and you don't spend time with me. I want you to spend time with me. You know, she's checking out Young Miami's Instagram. Young Miami's name came up today. Gina's name came up today. Some girl named Cassie's name came up today. Glow, what up? Why you don't do for me what you do for them? Puffy repeatedly tells her, I'm single. I'm single. If you want to leave, leave. You texting me about these women I'm witnessing that, and I told you from the gate that I got multiple women. I told you that. I got a lot of honeys. I told you that. You understand? I'm single. I don't need this. You always texting me, telling me what I'm doing wrong. You understand? And all Jane Doe could say, our relationship. She's on the stand. And then she go to crying. She go to crying about Puff being with all these other girls. But he told you what it was from the gate. You understand? And, you know, all she's talking about, I've committed this much time to the relationship, our relationship, and, you know, only time whenever Puffy get with her, you know, it's to do a hotel night, according to her testimony. Now, we still got to wait on the direct examination. Excuse me. We still got to wait. What you laughing at? You laughing at me? True Hall of Fame, Bill. Very few content creators keep it real like you. That's why I do reactions to your videos. You're a true Hall of Fame. Appreciate you, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody that sent me Cash App over the weekend. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Shout out to Larry Bethia, Ann Hill, Monique McClure, Eli Mars, Frou Fines, Todd Kelly, Curtis Mason, Anthony State, everybody that sent Cash Apps over the weekend. Let me put my Cash App up there because y'all be asking me about it. Puffy, you promised me, this is Jane Doe. You promised to take me on your yacht. Then I saw you on social media and you took somebody else on your yacht. You promised you was gonna take me. This is Jane Doe. Then you was on the podcast bragging about how you had sex for 48 hours straight with her. But with me, it was nothing. Then they never addressed Friday when we closed court. Mark Agnifilo raised the issue about the notes. Jane Doe, she goes in her phone and she types notes to herself. So she says. And Mark Agnifilo, Puffy's lead attorney, raised the issue like, you know, this shouldn't be admissible in court, you understand? Because these are just her thoughts. But then Maureen Comey says, oh, it references her state of mind. They argued about that Friday after court, but they didn't bring it up this morning. So anyway, I'm gonna read to you another note that she put up today. This is a note that she wrote to herself. As much as I want to see you, I don't want to feel like a hoe. You have other women. I don't want to be locked in a room to fulfill your sexual fantasies. Puffy hits her back. Girl, that was podcast talk. If you believe me, Puffy tell her, if you believe that, then don't fuck with me. He tell her. After Puffy say that, if you believe that, then leave me alone. She texts him right back. You said you would take me and you took her on your yacht. You have other women. Puffy texts her back. Bye. You always tripping on me. Jane Doe. Reality is seeing who we are. I don't want to feel obligated about the $10,000 a month you giving me for my rent. Then she testifies that she felt like I had to perform because Puffy paid my rent. Jane Doe texts Puffy back, I miss my pretty hard dick. You turned me on so crazy. Puffy texts her, hey, where's the chef? The chef is the dude, one of the entertainers. Is it Cabral? Cabral, he the chef? Because they was gonna get together. She said that when Puffy texted her that, she was upset, disappointed, and felt defeated. She was on a flight, flying from LA to New York. Then she starts crying on the stand. They go, when she lands in New York, they go to Trump Hotel. They go to the Trump Hotel in New York. What hotel do they go to? Somebody put it in the live chat. What's the name of the hotel? This is the second time he done been at that hotel. I need 500 thumbs up. I need 500 thumbs up. Double tap that screen. What's that hotel, DOM? What's the name? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? What does he do? So they go to the Trump Hotel, and when she gets there, Puffy's stylist greets her and takes her shopping to get some shoes and an outfit. Tomorrow's leaders, who is that? What did he do? What does he do? Jane Doe realizes that this is going to be a hotel night and she's going to perform with an entertainer, and Puffy texts her, we don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it, we don't have to do it. The same day that she's saying on the stand that she wasn't with it, that she felt defeated, depressed, upset, and disappointed, that Puffy
Diddy.
That Puffy want to do a hotel night. The same day, Jane Doe texts Cabral, the male entertainer, herself, and she asked him, would you like to come to New York for a day? Cabral said, yeah, I would. Jane Doe says, okay, let me set it up right now. Call me right now. Cabral calls, give his name, social security number, name, date of birth, and email. Jane Doe tells Cabral, your flight is at 10:23. Cabral came up to New York and he hit that. Jane Doe let him hit that. Jane Doe testified that the next morning she texts Cabral, hi, laugh out loud, are you awake? Cabral said, yeah, I'm awake. Jane Doe, gonna ask the status of the cash. Cabral says, okay, my love, I just left out. Jane Doe testifies, she tells Cabral, just ask the front desk for the envelope. Then she says, did you get the envelope And Cabral says yes. As if Puffy and Jane Doe left an envelope of cash with the front desk. That sounds a little fantastic to me. I need 500 thumbs up. I only got 415. I only got 415. Jane Doe then testifies that Puffy gave her COVID. 4 days later, Jane Doe flies from New York to Miami, and Cabral comes to Miami too. Jane Doe then testifies that Puffy is telling her to set up a party for Puffy and Jane Doe. Puffy tells Jane Doe, set up a party for us. But then Jane Doe is sweating Puffy's Instagram and sees him online that he was with another woman on Instagram. And she get mad. That's only 478. I need 500 thumbs up. I'm short. Y'all got me short by 22. Jane Doe testified on the stand that on October 15th, 2023, Puffy reaches out to her. She texts Puffy back, "You got that girl next to you, so figure it out." Puffy texts her back, "Girl, stop. I don't feed into this. You know I need you." Jane Doe texts back. She mentions 3 women Puffy was dating and asks, "Why don't you introduce them to the hotel night lifestyle you got me doing? Why you don't introduce Gina and Young Miami and your other honeys to what you got me doing?" The assistant U.S. attorney asked her, "What were you jealous of?" Jane Doe, "I was frustrated that I didn't get love, respect, and romance from Puff that everybody else was getting." Puffy told her from the door, "Yo, I got a lot of honeys, man. I deal with a lot. I need 750 thumbs up. Hollywood T. Hollywood T, you see it. Thank you for your channel membership." Jane Doe, Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey asked her, "Jane Doe, what were you jealous of?" Jane Doe's reply, "I was frustrated that I didn't get love, respect, and romance that all the other honeys was getting. All the other honeys got it. This honey was getting it, right? That honey was getting it. He giving it to that honey over there. He giving that honey love, respect, and romance. Giving that honey love, respect, and romance. That honey over there, she getting love, respect, and romance. Everybody getting love, respect, and romance but me, so I was mad." Puffy's constantly telling her, "Yo, I'm single. I told you from the door. When you told me you was deeply in love with me, I told you in Miami when I first met you. And yo, come to find out, Jane Doe had met Cassie one time with Puff at a celebration for Puff and at a fashion show." That came out. Jane Doe testified, "I want to stop having sex with other men." Puffy texts her back, "Let's spend the day together, just me and you. Let me make love to you, filled with love." Then Puffy's lawyers jumped up. Said, "Sidebar, sidebar." Puffy's lawyer. Puffy's lawyer said, "Sidebar, sidebar." So, I don't know why Puffy's lawyers and them said sidebar. But as I was sharing with y'all earlier, we went over this Friday with you. We went over this with Mia. We went over this with Cassie. We went over this with, what are we doing here? We just going through, just saying the same old thing, get to the proving of the RICO. Now, this is key. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey, Jane Doe says, she texts Puffy, are you gonna spend the day love bombing me? And then when she says the word love bomb, if you remember and you watch my video of when Dr. Dawn Hughes took the stand, when Jonathan Bach destroyed her on the stand, Dr. Dawn Hughes threw out a psychology quote of love bombing, meaning when the person, the abuser, acts extra nice to the victim to get them to reattach to them and stay connected to them. Are you gonna spend the day love bombing me? This is what Jane Doe says. Now, Assistant U.S. Attorney says, how many times has Sean called you crazy? Because Jane Doe says that, you guys want to cross the street? Y'all crossing? Go ahead. Ain't nobody coming. Where y'all from? From Europe? Uruguay? Europe? Yeah, they from out of town. I can tell because they right here waiting on the light to turn. The light turn. They just standing there. A New Yorker ain't gonna do that. New Yorker just gonna keep walking. So Jane Doe often shares that Puffy calls her crazy, and this harkens back to Dr. Dawn Hughes, that abusers gaslight and call their victims crazy to keep them attached, to make them think it's their fault, and love bombing them. And this is why she is going to be brought back in order to reiterate that. But I hope Jonathan Bach does her cross-examination again. Now, Jane Doe texts Puffy this. You want me to suck some dicks so you want me to just come to the hotel and suck some dicks so you could jet off to an island with Gina or Young Miami. Just leave me alone, just like you leave me alone when you with your other girls. This is what Jane Doe texts Puffy. When Puffy constantly telling her, yo, you could leave, I'm single. I got other girls, I've been telling you this. They have a sobriety party. This is where Puffy and Jane Doe invite 3 men to be entertainers for them. A dude by the name of Rico, a dude by the name of Paul, and a dude by the name of Antoine. She does this sobriety party. She's with those 3 guys, and then she sleeps with Puff. So she's with 4 guys in one night. After the sobriety party, the very next day, Jane Doe texts Puffy, good morning, baby. I love you. Can you put something in my account? I need to pick up some things. Puffy don't reply. Jane Doe texts her, I don't care about your porn star hoes. You know, I felt about, quote, quote, our relationship. Make other arrangements with your stupid assholes. I'm in pain, frustration, and agony. Puffy sends her a voice note, and Puffy says, leave me the fuck alone. I ain't with no other woman. I'm single. I don't know where the fuck Chelsea at. Jane Doe texts Puffy back, I'm not Gina or Cassie. Puffy texts her back, say, look, if you don't want to deal with this, then bounce. And if you need 3 extra months in the house, let me know. You could leave. We could stop seeing each other, and I'll keep paying the rent for another 3 months. But I'm not going to pay the rent, and we not together. You understand? I'm not going to do that. Jane Doe texts him back, just match my 2 years of this relationship we've been in, this toxic relationship with a love contract. So just give me $10,000 a month. They agreed on $10,000 a month. Jane Doe tells Puff, just do our love contract of $10,000 a month to match the toxic 2 years of our relationship. There ain't no relationship. He told you from the door. He got a lot of women. He keep telling you he's single. He keep telling you leave. But you choosing to stay. Jane Doe says that she has PTSD and that she needs a therapist. This is all leading up to Dr. Dawn Hughes coming back. Puffy texts her back. They're putting the text messages up on the screen. Puffy texts her back. You're the one finding the men. You're the one reaching out to the entertainers. You're the one that wants that. Puffy texts her back. You're the one that's finding these men that you're doing these hotel nights with. You're the one reaching out to them by Instagram. You're the one who wants that. Jane Doe, you trying to gaslight me. She's making it seem like she was forced. Puffy tell her, you can leave. You can leave, bounce, man. Go, bye. Then Jane Doe texts Puffy, I know I was consenting. In the text, I know I was consenting to the hotel nights. Jane Doe texts Puffy that. Jane Doe texts Puffy that. She was consenting. Then, Assistant U.S. Attorney heard Jane Doe say that and saw the text. She had to flip that around. Say, Jane Doe, why did you say you were consenting? Because Puffy's previous conversation where Puffy said you look like you were enjoying yourself in the videos, because Puffy would always film them. Puffy would always film them. Who is that? They're kicking somebody out of court. 5-0 right there. They got that Louis Mangione trial going on down here too. Harvey Weinstein down here. Check this part out. Check this part out. Jane Doe, for Puffy's birthday, she testified to this on the stand. She bought Puffy a mobile television that he can carry around in the house, a TV. A mobile television. Jane Doe testified under oath on the stand she bought Puffy a mobile television so that he could watch their hotel nights. He could watch the sexual escapades of her with the entertainers and her with Puff. She bought him the TV specifically for that reason. Then she said Puffy went to London. While Puffy was in London, Cassie filed her lawsuit. Cassie filed a lawsuit November 16, 2023, and she said it was all over the news. She got a copy of the lawsuit, and when she read it, she fainted. She fainted. Dark-skinned Jermaine. Man, the perp walked Diddy for this BS charge. I have a red carpet at the cars that reads not guilty. Diddy BOP after trial, he could dance out. Jane Doe testified on the stand that when she read Cassie's lawsuit, she fainted. She fainted. She fainted. She said she fainted. What's up, man? She said that there were 3 specific pages inside of Cassie's lawsuit that mirrored and resembled her own experience. She was bewildered, she was shocked, she couldn't sleep, she had nightmares, and it was like she was reading her own story, and then she started crying. How you doing?
Following you.
You be following me? Come here.
I gotta go.
Come here, just say hi to the people real quick. And tell them you be following me.
Hi to the people.
They
real
can't
quick.
see you. Come on, one more time.
Got hi to the people real quick. I've been following them. Good
Thank
stuff.
you. What's your name?
Tassie.
Thank you, Tassie. I met Cassie in person in 2015 at the fashion show and at a celebration for Puff. Now, this is where things got a little rough for Puff, right? The government, Miss Comey, Assistant U.S. Attorney, the prosecution, after Cassie filed her lawsuit, right? You know, Puffy grabbed that and he take care of that. But the prosecution plays some audio of phone conversations between Puffy and Jane Doe where you can hear Puffy's whole vibration is down. He don't sound the same. And somebody recorded these phone calls. Jane Doe says she didn't record them and she didn't know she was being recorded. So it was either Puffy recorded these conversations or his phone was tapped by the feds. It was one of the two. But she played like about 8 minutes worth of phone calls between Puffy and Jane Doe, and Puffy is like, they say you can hear him scribbling down with a Sharpie pen and a notebook, and then this is what the assistant U.S. attorney suggests, and then Jane Doe says, yeah, he used to do that all the time. He used to scribble and write stuff down with a Sharpie pen on a marker, on a notebook. Because supposedly that's the sound you can hear. But Puffy is on these phone calls telling her, you know, I need your friendship now. You know, she's crying. Who that right there? JMT, JM719. JM719. This right here, what I do, is elite level journalism. If you want to be added to my email list, I have a free email list where I send out positive emails every once in a while. Send me an email to the podcast was sold at gmail.com and say, Sean, add me to the email list. If you want to do a one-on-one FaceTime call with me, the link is underneath this video, www.stan.store/podcast was sold. So, on these phone calls, you know, it shows Puff, you know, he's concerned. You can hear the concern in his voice. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Jane Doe is saying on these phone calls, oh, yo, this sounded like me, this and that. You know, I read the lawsuit. Her story is like mine. And Puffy is telling her, like, yo, you bought me a TV so I could watch what we do. You was with it. What's up, man? You was with it what we was doing. So they both trying to insulate themselves that, yo, you was with it. And then Jane Doe was like, oh, no, you made me. See, throughout this whole testimony with Jane Doe, she has given off the impression and the notion that she's forced to do these hotel nights, that she has no choice but to sleep with these entertainers. She is forced. You know, that's what she's coming, that's what she tries to come across, but then she negates that position in the very next statement by indicating she's, what's up, man? What's going on, huh? Everything go all right? All right.
Nice job.
Yeah. She then negates that because she's jealous of Gina. She's jealous of Young Miami. She's jealous of all these women. And Puffy'S keeps telling her, I'm single. You understand? I got a bunch of women. So like, you could leave. Puffy'S telling her all the time you could leave. But then she coming right back like, I was forced. I didn't want to do these whole time. So why you didn't dip? Why you didn't dip? Now, in some of these phone calls, Jane Doe and Puffy are discussing an individual that Jane Doe was in a relationship previous to Puff, but they redact that name. They redact that dude's name. They redact a bunch of people's names, but she slipped up. Peace out. She slipped up. Jane Doe slipped up and said Young Miami's name, and she slipped up and said Gina's name. You understand? So, you know, that's where we left off. That's where we left. I need 2,000 people. I need 1,000 thumbs up, and I need 2,000 people in the live chat. Share this video. Share this video. So, you know, Jane Doe is constantly asking Puff for money, for furniture. All right, you need money for furniture. Here go 15,000. You understand? She goes out and gets 3 credit cards and goes into debt. Why the hell would you go rent a big ass house for you and a little baby and pay $10,000 a month rent? Why would you do that? And you getting child support over here. And that's where we left off, and we went to lunch. I'm really tempted to not even go back in because nothing's really being achieved by the prosecution. To me, all this is doing, and it's a very effective strategy, I must say. I need 2,000 people. I need 2,000 people, 1,000 likes. Share, everybody share this video one time. It's a very effective strategy that maybe if you create enough hatred for Puffy in the jury, maybe they will convict him on their hatred instead of on the law, right? Instead of on the law. Now, I was watching a video over the weekend of the white dude from TMZ, Joe Tacopina, Nancy Grace, and this other white lady, I think her name is Barfield. All four of them were up on the screen, and Joe Tacopina, send this video to Joe Tacopina. Joe Tacopina made a very, very important point. Joe Tacopina is a celebrated lawyer. I think he even spoke with Puffy about joining the defense team. And what Joe Tacopina said, that in order to get a RICO, racketeering influenced criminal organization, the enterprise, the businesses, the enterprise, or the people must form an organization for the sole purpose to commit crimes. And in the commission of those crimes has to be generating money. So from the very gate, the entities must be formed for the sole and exclusive reason to commit crime, and then in the commission of those crimes, they make money. That's not the case. Bad Boy Records was formed to sell records. Sean John Clothing was formed to sell clothes. Revolt TV, Revolt Films was created and started to make movies. So that in and of itself, according to the definition, I need 40 more people. I need 32 more people to get 2,000. I needed 2. Come on, let's go. Run it up. Run it up. So if that definition is the truth, then the enterprise that they're trying to say is the enterprise for RICO doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because none of these, right, Joe Tacopina represented A$AP Rocky. None of these businesses were started for the reason to commit crime, you know, and what the government is trying to prove is that Puffy's employees, his assistants, his security, right, were supposed to operate outside of the scope of their job description as an assistant or as a security and intervene in his personal life and report him to the authorities for whatever behavior that they may or may not have saw as reprehensible. Who could do that, right? Who would do that? You know, I got a mortgage, I got a car payment, I got 2 kids, I got a lady, and I'm working for Puff, and I see him do something in his personal life, I'm gonna report it. I'm gonna report my boss and then don't nothing happen to him, then he know I reported him, I'm out of a job. But this is the standard that the prosecution is attempting to hold Puffy's employees to as a means to get the RICO. So that's what it is. So that's where we at. I'm finna go back in here. Shout out to everybody. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. Man, shout out to everybody. I want to thank everybody that gave a super chat today. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that gave Cash App. I appreciate you. PayPal. Somebody gave me a PayPal too. Hold on. I gotta shout out to PayPal. I gotta shout out to PayPal. Make sure you follow me on Instagram too, and Spotify. The podcast was sold. Sepia Prince. Yeah, so that's what we got. And I'm finna get out of here, go back in. Sean G, I'll see y'all after court. If I go back in and it's more of the same, I'm probably just gonna leave. Because, you know, it's just the same thing. They're doing the same thing over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? How bad is Puff? Totally unrelated to the RICO. Shout out to everybody. See y'all later. Peace.
That's what YouTube.
Yeah.